Gavin. Horrible.
Are you saying anything over there? He's eating right now, so he's not even paying attention to us. All right, guys, we're going to be getting started here in just a second. Again, send out any last-minute text. Get everybody on board. So, let me see who we have here. I know that we have Bob Cratch on here. Let me see if I see him. Let me see. Bob, are you out there, my friend?
Yes, I am.
So last week we were talking about, the mindset of the NFL and especially a championship team on, when people quit being, no talking right here. This is work zone right now. All right. Please. So we were talking about, we were talking about when people's mindset gets out of whack and they quit performing on the level that they were most of the time because of mindset. You were sharing kind of, what the team does, and you can share from whatever perspective you would like. But first, I would like you to just jump on board real quick, kind of share your story and whatever else you wanted to share. And if you want to throw out what we were talking about in terms of mindset and what it takes to be a champion and win, that'd be fantastic. Not to put you on the, what is it even called? On the spot. That's it. See, I can't even think of it. On the spot. Not to put you on the spot, but put you on the spot. Let's do it.
Okay. Can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you fantastic. In fact,
okay. All the way from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Hi, everybody. I appreciate the time, a few minutes here, just maybe talk about my past experience. My name is Bob Cratch. I'm shown as Christy Cratch. That's my wife of 30 years. We've been married, and it's quite an honor to be here talking. I was a kid who grew up in New Jersey, and the one thing I could do, I knew what I couldn't do, and I couldn't play baseball. I wasn't very good, and I wasn't good at basketball. I was kind of awkward, bigger kid, kind of a chubby kid, and I was pretty good at football. That was my connection. That's where I bonded. That's where team became such an aspect. A lot of influential coaches right from the start came into my life and mentored me, motivated me. It wasn't always easy. Those were different times, and a lot of punishment reward was kind of the motivation. Not necessarily I agree with that. Times have changed greatly from sport and in society, but football really grounded me. It tremendously, I grew up with a lot of frustration, so I was able to get out aggressions on the field, but it taught me a lot about leadership, mostly about accountability. And there's so many correlations between sport in this business. And when I started my first company, direct sales industry, was back during the recession of 2010, 11, and 12, and I had my own business after football. And I was just really surprised of all the correlations between this business and between football, from the motivation aspect, from the teamwork aspect. It really was surprising, and the competitive aspect. But what I really loved about this industry and what is the teamwork aspect of it, the personal development side of this business, which I really didn't practice a lot. Oddly enough, I had a chiropractor in my football career who for 1 year got me to practice personal development, and odds are that was one of the best years I ever had. I got the golden ring, I signed a contract with the Patriots, and I stopped practicing personal development. So mindset is so key, because in life, especially now, it's so challenging because our world's been kind of turned upside down with COVID and what's going on, that you really have to have a strong mindset and a strong will. And we're such a fast-paced society. And the one thing I was looking up, one of my mentors was Coach Bill Parcells, who really coached me 6 of my 8 years in the NFL. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He won 2 Super Bowls. I mean, Belichick's he's got 6 Super Bowl, actually 8 Super Bowl wins. And Bill was such a great mentor, and especially in this industry. The one thing I read a quote the other day was really interesting. I've never heard this quote that Bill said. He goes, "Not only is it important you need to know what wins, but you need to know what loses." And one thing that I loved about this industry is when you join, if you have a good sponsor, a good team, that's where the team comes in. That's where Chris Schweda, I see Gavin Teague on here, is the introduction to the new person, the new teammate. And if we can cut to the chase and that team aspect of like, learn from our mistakes, learn from things that we did wrong in the past, learn what loses, what doesn't win. And I don't mean that in a negative way, especially now that things are changing and social media is so important more than ever in this industry. There's so many different things we can learn. And that's where it's so important. When I was with the New York Giants, when I came in, there's a defensive lineman. He should be in the Hall of Fame. His name is Leonard Marshall. He played defense. I played offense. In a way, we were kind of enemies, but we were on the same team. But what Leonard was great at, he would pull me aside as he's beating me in practice and telling me what I'm doing wrong, pointing out the things, what I'm showing, where my hand placement is, because he knew the good of the team. He wanted to see the whole team win. He wanted to win. So for him, he was one of the few guys that would point things out, because we would go head to head every day and he would tell me my mistakes. He was telling me why I was losing. And at times you got to learn this too. It can get a little salty. It can hurt. It can sting. When someone tells you what you're doing wrong, that's a big, a lot of people don't know how to handle that. And that's, as a leader, it's probably one of the hardest things, because a lot of times we just tell people what they want to hear. Oh, you're doing great. I saw that post. And meanwhile, you're like, oh my God, why do they keep saying that? And that's what's tough about leadership in this. And so Leonard would teach me, because as a defensive player, you don't want to be on the field long. He wanted me to be on the field so he could rest. If you understand football, you understand that. So that's a big thing in this, is when you get this new distributor in, you got to put your arms around them just like a team, just like we were in a locker room, and teach them and mentor them and duplicate. And that's what I love about this, because, and the other thing is, some people are going to run at a great pace. Some people have a lot of great talents. I wasn't one of those guys in the NFL. I had to work every day. I had to be consistent, just, I guess, like in this business. Consistency, doing the little things over and over again. We've heard it before. We've heard about the mundane. I had to work every day. And there were some guys like Lawrence Taylor, one of the greatest. I played with him for 5 years. Greatest linebacker that ever played. He had such natural talent, and it came easy to him. So there's just so many, Chris, as we talk about this, there's just so many correlations between sport and this business, which kind of excites me. I love when there's someone new that I meet. That my son just called me the other day. I can't believe this. He coaches at Iowa State. He's going to join a direct sales company. He's not joining this company. It's a financial company where he has to go and get a Series 7 and his insurance license. And, Chris is looking at me, but he wanted to know my opinion. And I said, me and your mom have been in this industry for 8 years. We've made money. I mean, we haven't made millions of dollars, but when it was rough financially with I had a furniture store and it was going down the toilet. My first company, we ran hard because we were thrown out on the streets. We had to make up that income, and we got in, we were mentored. And this is the thing, is when I got in, I wanted to learn as much as I could especially from the leadership. I want to know who's successful. I want to get next to Chris Schweda. Chris, what do you say? How do you, me and my wife, we got obsessed about it. And, so he called me, and I'm excited. I think it's a great industry. Of course I'm excited. You want to get involved. Chris is shaking his head though, but about the financial thing, but he's motivated to get in. He wants to make a little extra money. He has some time on his hands, but this has been, for me, yes, you want to treat it as a business, But the other thing is, you want to make income, whatever your goals you want to set, how hard you want to run, how fast, the tax benefits. But the heart of this business, I have met so many wonderful people. And the one thing that this has really helped me with my personal struggles. When we were losing our business, I had a lot of demons to face. I had a lot of challenges in my life. I was a heavy drinker. I struggled with alcohol. It was my go-to. It was my lean-to. And really, me and my wife at a time, maybe we should have been coming apart because things weren't going our way. We got closer and closer. And she really got into personal development, and I got into personal development. I went to Tony Robbins twice, Unleash the Power, because our direct sales company could get a great discount on going to see Tony Robbins. And I really, really changed my mindset, and I really changed how I felt. And it wasn't all about making money and being rich. And my whole life, I was pushed towards riches and fame and money. And I signed a very lucrative contract in the NFL. I've had a lot of money. I've lost money. Even when I had a lot of money, I wasn't happy. I was still miserable. And I'll just kind of end on this. Phil Simms, who was a great quarterback I played with, and he made a great point. He said that, and guys that play sports, mostly men can relate to this. Kids that stop high school football, they always feel this regret. They always felt like, I wish I could have done more. They go on to college. They play 4 years of college. They play in bowl games, and it ends, and it just wasn't enough. And they have all these regrets, and they miss playing, and they live in the past. Even NFL players that play 10, 12 years. Tom Brady, when he retires, he's like, God, maybe I could have got to 25. Maybe I could have got to 30. There's always these regrets and never finding peace at times, and that's kind of, for me, this industry has really healed a lot of issues that I had, the people around me, the support. And that's just so, to me, I take so many kudos, in the growth for me personally, where mentally, where I've come and how I feel about myself. I am so much happier. And this is ironically a happy type company. We have products that boost oxytocin. If I didn't have this coffee, if I didn't have Xanthamax, it's just the cherry on the icing to get me to where I need to go. So I'll just leave it with that. I appreciate you, Chris. I appreciate you being such a great mentor. I've been to a retreat with you, learned a lot. Gavin Teague, a young guy on here. I've listened to your videos on YouTube, and I wish I would have gotten this business at your age right away. You guys are mentors, and I appreciate having me on for my 2 cents. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, Bob. I appreciate you jumping on here. And guys, I wanted him to share from the sports side of it, because number one, we get started in this industry and we start to go, you know what? I want to go out and make this thing happen. And then you start to like look at the numbers, like, how am I going to hit that rank? I'm going to have 20,000 in volume. I'm going to have 40 grand in volume, 80 grand in volume. And you think that you need to go out and do it. And it's really not about that. It's about getting a whole bunch of people to do a little bit, so where you can hit the big numbers. The big numbers don't happen from you hitting all those numbers. There are some freaks out there that can hit major numbers. But the average person, guys, if you could just go out there and share a cup of coffee with people and help them to get in touch with their happy, they'll share it with people that share with people that share with people. And it just goes on and on. And in fact, I don't know if I shared what call I shared on. It might have been this Saturday morning call, but my buddy that came wakeboarding with me, he used to ride with us all the time, and he moved back to Shreveport with his daughter, and he came down a couple weeks ago, and him and his friend that came out, basically his friend got on the coffee, and literally he randomly, I think he sent me this Saturday morning or whatever, which I thought was, I just got a text from a guy, hey man, I want to do this business. That's pretty cool. But that's not the text I was trying to reach you. But it was really cool getting this text. In fact, as I pull this up, I'm going to actually bring Gavin on and have him share in a minute. But he goes, dude, what did you do to my friend? This is what he texts me. And he has a question mark, and And he goes, he just randomly texted me this morning. This was Saturday morning. He goes, it goes, dude, I think I'm addicted to this Happy Coffee. So he came out on the boat, and they had just done an all-day fishing trip out in Venice. And then they came straight from that of, driving all the way from Shreveport, going out to Venice, which is an hour plus for me. So that was like a 7-hour drive for them to get out there, then go fishing all day, and then come in and then come out on the boat with us. And they were just dragging. And basically I gave them the Happy Coffee, and it was like, boom. They were feeling amazing. What is that? Oh, and then they went, so then the next day, they came over to say goodbye, or actually they stayed at my house, and not to stay by. Well, after we went out on the boat, after they fished, then they went frogging, and I chose not to go with them or whatever. So they got in at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and they were feeling terrible that morning. I gave them the coffee. They went home and they ordered. So he's now been drinking it for a couple weeks, and he randomly texted my buddy that I think I'm addicted to the Happy Coffee. And I'm sharing that because, we just got off a call a minute ago. I did a call with Bobby Joe and a group of competitors. And yeah, people are going, frogging, what is that? That's where you actually grab bullfrogs with your hands, shine lights on them, and grab them with your hands in the middle of the night. It's done at night. It's crazy. In the swamp, skaters, you name it. So with that being said, we just got off a call, and I was sharing, all the things that we went through in the past, like getting started in business. And then you have Bob, talking. You just heard him talk about all these incredible mentors that he had from the football side of it. And I love the fact that we have incredible mentors in this business, but it's so ridiculously simple. The challenge is how we complicate it. So I'm going to bring in a young man real quick to share, kind of his perspective. And guys, he was one of the youngest people to hit the rank of ambassador in the company and all that. And, has really blown up and did some amazing things. And it's funny because him and I have been talking about some of the same things and the struggles that we deal with, right? I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago on how I just had to figure out, why am I doing this to begin with? Because when you hit certain ranks or even certain incomes, and you don't have to necessarily do what you did in the beginning because you have this check, you have to really figure out, why in the world am I doing this anyway? And everyone has different drivers. Everyone has, different things that push them. And Gavin and I have been talking a lot about this, about really getting to, am I doing this? And really how to overcome because I shared the analogy of when you've been dating the same person for a long time, right? You have to create that excitement again. You have to get yourself fired up and feeling like when you got started and what attracted you to begin with. And I don't know how many of you all watched Ricky's training on Saturday morning. And if you don't know where that is, it's at zoomreplay.com. All of our trainings are posted that we do in our team on zoomreplay.com. So if you're not in our group, that's where you go see all the trainings. If you want to see where all that stuff is, there's no secrets, because everybody wants to go, oh, what's the secret? The secret is get your head out of your places that it shouldn't be, right? I mean, that's really the secret. And know why you're doing this. Know what it is on what is. So with that being said, I'm going to bring on Gavin. I have no idea, and I'm putting him on the spot. So I don't have any idea what you're going to talk about. It really doesn't matter. But this dude brings value every single time. And when he does trainings, people are like, oh my gosh, you just heard Bob talk about it. So that's why I'm going to bring Gavin on. Just put him on the spot. So over to you, Gavin.
Well, the funny thing, Chris, is I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. So, guys, it just goes to show sometimes you got to get uncomfortable and just go with the flow. So I want to start by giving you guys two resources, two different things that I really feel like can change your life, can make a really big impact. These are two things that I have gotten started with, that I've been listening to, that I have watched. And literally everybody I'm talking to, I'm saying, hey, you got to watch this, because 99% of this business is rewiring our brain that's been wired the wrong way since the day that we were born. And that's a really hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do. And I think that if you can learn to start rewiring your brain and wiring it for success, instead of keeping it wired in a place of being conditioned, which is what we've all dealt with our whole life, you'll start to see things in your life transpire and start to change. So who on this call, if you have a Netflix, if you were paying $11.99 a month, okay, first of all, ask yourself, how much money has Netflix made you so far, right? Nothing. It's wasted a lot of time. Well, guess what? Netflix is about to make you some money, because I'm going to give you a resource. I'm going to give you something that you can watch on Netflix. Every single one of you have Netflix. Don't say that you don't. Okay. We're spending $120 a year, and we're spending 120 hours a year of our time doing nothing productive with it. So we're getting ready to change that. First resource. And our challenge, I want to know everybody's takeaways come next Monday of what I'm about to share with you. Some of you might have seen it. Some of you might not have. I Am Not Your Guru, the Tony Robbins video. Okay. It's in the documentary section. I am not your guru. I want everybody on this call to watch it. And I want you to show up to the call with intention, because you're truly going to have your own personal breakthroughs just by seeing the breakthroughs that other people have. Okay. And it's super powerful when you can put yourself, thank you, Tony, for typing that. When you can put yourself in that place. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Like, I watched this the other day and was like, wow, this is something that everybody that joins my team needs to start, because it's going to start wiring your brain the right way and the proper way. Okay. So that's resource number one. Resource number two is an audio that I have actually listened to every day for the last 13 days now, from July 1st until now. I actually started a private group with my team. I'm paying everybody $20 that listens to it every day. Right now, we got about 15 people that have actually stuck to it, right? That haven't missed today. But that audio is called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale on YouTube. Okay. Once again, this is going to reveal to you things that are going to help you wire your brain the right way. Now, a lot of you might be sitting there going, well, why are you talking about mindset? Why aren't you talking about what to do in this business? Because if your mind's not right, it doesn't matter if you know how to do the business. Okay, that's the reality. I've known how to do this business from the day I started, because I said, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what they say. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. But my mind has gotten in my way, right? I've gotten in my own way. And I'm telling you that, guys, that because nobody is perfect. Yes, strangest secret, Hannah. Nobody is perfect, guys. Life's going to happen. Life's going to hit you. Life's going to knock you down. Life is going to slap you around and knock you flat on your face over and over again. And if you can actually condition yourself to flex your hustle muscle, to get through it, to power through it, to think about why you started, to always remember that, to be able to snap and turn that part of your brain on, you're going to see your life change right before your eyes. So the purpose of this call is not to sit here and tell you everything to do in your business. It's to get your mind right. You got to start there. You have to make your mindset a priority. See, so many people, they don't continue learning, or they don't dive into anything personal development or do any kind of learning for that matter, outside of watching a YouTube video of how to construct an IKEA table, right? That's the only learning they do. What if you transitioned everything and started learning how to think positively, how to manifest, how to attract? What if I told you that your mindset and your belief literally was a direct correlation of what this business is going to become for you? What if I told you that your income is a direct reflection of your self-confidence? Because it is, right? You have to make your mindset a priority, and you have to master your mind. See, when you're scrolling Facebook, when you're on Instagram, we spend so much time keeping up with everybody else and becoming envious of what they're doing and thinking that we need to live this life of perfection to be accepted. And it's a fallacy. Nobody on this call is perfect. I shared a story today, and I'll say it right here because I don't really care. I put myself out there today on Facebook. You know, in the past 6 months, I've struggled. I've struggled a lot. I've had leaders leave my team. I've seen my income go in half. I've focused on all of the wrong things instead of why I've started. You know, I've masked a lot of the pain by smoking pot at night. I vape. I do nicotine. I have a lot of my own struggles, but you know what I chose to do last night? I said, those are my demons and I'm no longer fighting them. I dropped it all cold turkey. And I know that if I can do that, and a lot of you probably don't even know this about me, but why am I sharing it? Because I'm not perfect. And if you're trying to show people a perfect life, then you're going in the wrong direction. Share your truth. Don't just share your story with this coffee. Your story started the day you were born. It didn't start the day you were introduced to Happy Coffee. Think about what makes you you, what powers you, what lights you up, what drives you, what feeds your soul, and chase that every single day. You know what? If people tell you no, if people say, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that, who cares? You know, who cares? You have to get past the fact that not everyone is going to see your vision. Not everyone is going to dream your dream. And not everyone is going to walk this walk or race this race, right? You got to get past that. There is however many people in the world, 7 billion people in the world, right? 7 billion. Just to put that in perspective, if every second was $1, right? Every second was $1. You know how long it would take to make $1 million? 11 days, right? You know how long it would take to make $1 billion if it was $1 every second? 33 years. 33 years. That's the difference in 1 million and 1 billion. So stop focusing on the person that told you no. Stop focusing on the person that quit your team. Stop focusing on the person that had a bad experience with your product, because for every one person that says no, there's 1,000 other ones that will say yes. You just can't let the no's bring you down, and you got to keep going, guys. You got to keep going. I'll tell you this, and I'll pass it back to Chris, whoever wants to share next. I'm actually volunteering Bobby Joe. Anyways, so guys, network marketing has changed my life. You know, for me, this was kind of like my college. You know, I was faced with a decision. Did I want to go to college, and did I want to pay, you know, the $15,000, $20,000 a year and put myself through college, or did I want to go out there and figure something out? And when I got introduced to network marketing, you know, I had always heard, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So I said, you know what? It sounds too good to be true, so it probably is true. I'm going for it. And it changed my life. The first few years, you know, there were a struggle. Being a leader or becoming a leader, you know, not identifying yourself as leader, becoming a leader. It's challenging. You know, it's a job within itself. You have to overcome so much. But I wholeheartedly believe in every single one of you that are on this call, that if you're on this call, you have it in you. You've already arrived. You're already here. You already raised your hand and said, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm doing it. You signed up. You drink the product. You love the product. Now it's about working on yourself every day. Guys, network marketing, this industry can change your life. This company, if this is your first journey, you are blessed. You are truly blessed. You have something that is so powerful. It's literally instant gratification. Like, how many of you stop the microwave at 2 seconds when you're popping popcorn? Why? We want instant gratification. That's what our product does. You have something that's affordable. Matter of fact, it's cheaper than what most people are spending every day. It's something people are already doing every day, right? 8 out of 10 people go to sleep and set an alarm on their Keurig because they got to wake up and have their coffee, right? You're not convincing someone to drink a potion. You're not convincing someone about a lotion that's better than another lotion. You don't have to convince. All you got to do is get this product in someone's hands and say, shut up and drink it. And when they do, they're going to feel it. They're going to like it. And from there, This is the biggest roadblock for people I find in this business. They're afraid to ask the question, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to get started? Are you ready to experience dose? You got to ask the question. You're not being pushy when you really believe in something. If you wholeheartedly believe in what you have, you're not being pushy. You're not selling someone something. Actually, matter of fact, people say, are you selling me something? I say, you're dang right I am, and you're about to buy it. Have some confidence, have some posture, have some excitement. Like, who wants to buy a product from somebody, you know, that's not excited? I don't. I'm going to go find someone that is excited. So the point of the matter is, believe in yourself, stay consistent, and go all in. If you want to be ballin', you got to be all in. Okay, one of my favorite quotes: everybody wants the big house. Everybody wants the dream boat. Everybody wants the vacation. Everybody wants to walk away from the 9 to 5, but they refuse to be all in, but yet they want to be balling. It doesn't work like that. Tonight is your opportunity to make a decision that you're going to crush it. You're going to run into convention on Saturday. You're going to give it everything you got, and you're going to fill your living room with 10 people to watch that dang convention with you, and every one of those 10 are going to sign up with you. How bad do you want to crush July? How bad do you want to hit that next rank? How bad do you want to win? You are the only one that can answer that question. You are the only one, and you're also the only one that can do something about it and make the change that you know you need to make. So let's rock and roll. I got the rest of this taco to eat. I'm passing the ball to Bobby Joe. I love you guys. Chris, thanks for putting me on the spot. And to all, good night.
Bobby Joe, are you sharing some nuggets? What's the deal here? I mean, now that Gavin's throwing you out to the wolves.
I know, right? Like, I don't think anything else needs to be said after that. Holy smokes. I was like taking notes, and then he said my name. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I think that, you know, someone asked me today, you know, how can you, literally, not even joking, somebody asked me today, how can you build a business on social media with the way social media is, with everything going on in the world? And I said, honestly, it's because I really believe that everybody needs our product. I truly believe that. I think that if more people had the happiness products, whether it's a patch, it's the Xanthamax, it's the coffee, it's the zest, it's whatever. I think if more people had that product in their hand, we would have less of the division, the diversity, or the division, the anger, the things that are happening within social media. And so at some point, I feel like it's my obligation to share it, right? Like, I feel like I have to show up to do this because of what it's doing for me. And so I agree with everything Gavin's saying. Like, if you're in a hard spot, like, I mean, no shame in the game, y'all. Like, we all go through it, whether you're a leader or not a leader, you're brand new, you're just getting started, or you've been in this industry for years. Like, we all go through the ups and downs, the ins and outs. And, you know, that I think is definitely what helps us grow as humans, to be more relatable, so that when people come to you and they have a situation, they're having a tough day, they're going through something in their life, it's not like, here, let me spew this crazy, amazing coffee on you. It's like, let me listen, let me be your friend, let me hear you out, let me, you know, share life with you. And oh, by the way, this is what's helped me get through some of the tough times that I've been through. Right. So I think that, I don't really want to add much more, because Gavin, that was pure fire. I love the truth that you brought. I'm going to go and watch your live, because I went and looked at your page, and I plan to go and support you, because you guys, truthfully, at the end of the day, family is all that we have, right? We have an incredible community, an incredible family, and all you have to do is latch on to someone who is going to help you. If you're going through something, latch on to someone and say, hey, listen, I'm going through this. Can you be there to support me? Can you be there to keep me accountable? Can you help me out? And just have that community-based connections. And if you're falling out of that, then reach back into it. If you're struggling, let someone know. If you're, you know, celebrating, we want to celebrate with you. If you're bringing someone new, we want to, you know, welcome them new. Like, that's what family is. We're here for the highs, the lows, the ups and downs. And if you don't speak your truth and share what makes you tick, you're missing out on the bigger picture of what all of this has to offer. So I'll just stop with that.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bobby Joe. Guys, I want to have different, I mean, there's so much talent in this company. So we're trying to, showcase some people and letting you hear some different mindsets and all that. So where it's not just me the whole time, because, oh my gosh, my enthusiasm is scaring everyone. So with that being said, guys, every Monday, every day, but on Mondays especially, I'll dig into different materials and go into, I have so much personal development. It's crazy, right? So I'm always digging into different personal development. So where I know that, one, I'm sharpening my axe. So when I'm getting on these calls, I'm talking about mindset and I'm talking about working on yourself. It's congruent instead of it not being like telling you what you should do and I'm not doing it myself. Does that make sense? So the thing is that everything that we share are things that we're actually working on, things that we're doing. I love the transparency, and how Gavin shared, because this is the reality. People are lying all the time, right? People have this, they put this mask on and they want you to see a certain thing, especially on social media, and they're not showing you who they really are. People are in relationships without really being honest with the other person on how they feel about things and who they are and whatever. And that's one of the biggest challenges we have in our world today, is that people are living a freaking lie instead of living in just total transparency and really wanting to help, everyone and share who they are. But this is the biggest lie, is the lies that you say to yourself, the lies that you're telling yourself. And many of these people, and I'm sure Gavin can agree to this, but he didn't even want to look at himself from the perspective that he had to look at to be able to grow to the next level. Many times we're lying to ourselves and not really whatever. We're basically painting a picture of the way that we see things, and it's really not real. And when you're open enough and when you're basically honest enough with yourself to basically say, you know what if all of my beliefs are an illusion? What if all of my beliefs aren't necessarily real? What if there's a different way to see things? What if there's a different way to look at things? Because it's really interesting. And I'm not going to get into this, but if you look at politics, right? You have one group that looks at it from what they call the left and the other group that looks at it from what they call the right. And both of them believe 100% that they are correct and that they are right. And it's a perspective based on their philosophies, based on their upbringing, based on whatever it is they've dealt with. And to them, their belief system is absolute real. So guys, what is a belief? A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. It's a feeling of absolute certainty. It's not certainty. It's not saying that, well, that's the way that it is. No, it's a belief. It's a feeling of absolute certainty. So a belief in what you think is real for you is coming from a feeling of absolute certainty. I was listening today, one of the girls in our group, life coach, and she went from literally cleaning houses, and I'm going to have to bring her on and interview her and stuff because it fits in perfectly for the Mindset Monday. But she basically went from cleaning houses to being very wealthy and successful in what she does. And now she coaches people on how to clear out all the stories and the luggage and the baggage and whatever other garbage you want to call it, how to clear our mind out to start over. And when I was listening to one of the trainings she was doing for her group, basically she was sharing, and which I knew this, but it was great hearing it from her perspective about how like our feelings and the pictures that we see are literally based on our point of view. I'm not saying it the way that she said it, but it was so good. But this is what you need to know, that your brain has plasticity. and that you can literally rewire your brain and the way that you think and the way that you feel by changing the stories. So what happens is, and on this call, she was interviewing one of the girls in the team, and basically she was asking her a bunch of questions. And a lot of times people go to shrinks, or they go to counselors, or whatever you want to call them, psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever. A lot of times what they're doing is they're asking you questions, and then they're helping you to reframe whatever it is that you feel to be reality. And by talking about it, many times you let go based on maybe the questions on how they ask it. What they allow you to do to see the possibility of looking at the same situation from another point of view. And I don't know when I shared this, but it wasn't too long ago. In the book, Power versus Force, it talks about in kinesiology on how we actually have all of this energy in this, like these vibration levels that happen when we feel certain things like fear, anxiety, is at a very low vibration level, right? Like, so when people are like, you don't have good vibes, it's what they're talking about. It's because people put out energy. We are made up of energy, and the stories that we see or what we think and all that stuff is all based on a point of view, and our brain literally paints a picture that is not necessarily the way that it is, but it's based on our point of view. So if I say, where do you see me? Many of you all are going to point right there and all that, but you're really seeing me right here based on your belief system, your story, whatever. And the way that you take what I say is all based on your view. Some people, I'll say stuff and I'll get a message and people will hate on what I said, and like people will get upset or whatever. And that's why, like, when they asked me to do a call for the whole company, I was like, oh my God, God knows what's going to come out of my mouth. But the bottom line is that people are creating stories and painting a picture based on what they want to back up whatever their belief system. And when you heard Bobby Joe say, I was taking notes and I heard my name, what that is, it's called the reticulated activator system, your RAS, it's basically your filter. And your filter, the way your brain works, is your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real. So just so you know, it has no idea. And it only knows based on what you programmed it for your filter to be able to see. There's 144, forgot how many bits, millions of bits of things that are going on right now. Like some of you all have an air condition you can hear in the background, or there's kids in the background, or there's this in the background, that, and you don't even hear that stuff because your filter's filtering it out, right? But when you hear, like say you're in an airport and there's all this noise going on, and then boom, you hear your name come across, and all of a sudden, boom, you're aware. It's because your filter allowed that to come through with all the noise, right? Now, our program, the way that we think, our belief systems are what cause us to what we filter in and what we filter out. And that's why when I watch people argue over politics on Facebook, it blows me away, or anytime, because the person is not going to get what you're saying because their filter won't allow it. They will not allow anything to come in. Their filter filters out anything that's not of their belief system. Whether they're wrong or right, it doesn't matter. And if you have a belief system to feel a certain way about a certain thing, then your filter will only allow the stimulus in that align with your belief system. So how do we change that? We start to, one, be open to what I believe might not be the way that it is. It's called awareness. That when you start to open up your awareness and start to open up the fact that, you know what, see, the humans are like in the animal world, if a rabbit and then the coyote's after the rabbit and it makes a wrong turn, it means death. Well, in our brains, the way our mind works is the same way. And it thinks when we're wrong, we're going to die, right? Even though nothing really happens. You know, the biggest thing that you can do that people respect more than anything is when you can admit that you're wrong. And more importantly, learn from your mistakes. And I'll throw this out there while I'm at it. You know, my mom taught me something years and years ago. I mean, early on, she said there's 3 types of people. She says there's stupid people that literally will make a mistake over and over and over, and they just keep making the same stupid mistakes. And she says smart people will make a mistake and they learn from their mistake. And she says, but wise people, other people's mistakes and learn from other people's mistakes, they don't have to make them. And the beautiful part about this is you get to decide what you are. But first, it starts with awareness. It starts with you being open to being wrong. It starts with being open to see another point of view and to be able to open that. So I'm going to close with this. So how do we reprogram that filter, right? It starts with, you know, Gavin shared a couple of videos with you guys that I'm sure are going to be on the same alignment of what we're talking about right now on how to reprogram who you are and where you are. And it starts off with a story. And I'm gonna see if I can I'll see if I can put a link to Odil's trainings when she was talking about this stuff, because she's breaking it down from like the chemical stuff and all that, whatever. I just like, you know, whatever. So I understand exactly how to reprogram the subconscious mind. I did a training with a guy by the name of John Assaraf. He was one of the people that were featured in the movie The Secret. And it was called One Coach. And I did a 6-month, it might have even been a year, I can't remember, but we did these calls and I have this workbook and all this stuff. And not only teaches step by step how the subconscious mind works, but more importantly, how to reprogram it. And one of the things that I learned through this whole process is affirmations. And I've talked about it in 2 weeks ago, I said one little portion of my affirmation, but I'm going to close it out with this. I'm going to read you my affirmation. And this is something I read every single day, twice a day for months prior to getting started with this company. Because I was so beat up, busted, and disgusted. I was at the lowest point of my life. I did not feel like the winner that I used to be. And guys, thoughts are things. You have to unleash the champion within. And every single one of you all have that champion within. And if you don't know where it is, it's time to re-find it or recreate it. And the thing is when you start to realize that you are in control of the way that you feel, the way that you think, and that you're not a victim to your circumstances. Oh, that person hurt my feelings. No one can hurt your feelings unless you let them. No one can say something that offends you unless you decide to be offended. It's an illusion. It's all based on a point of view. It's all based on your filter. And when you decide to take control of the way that you feel about things, no one can make you feel a certain way or say something that hurts you or whatever. It's your freaking decision. So take charge. So I'm going to read this to you on what I read to myself every single day to unleash that champion within. And it was because of this mindset that literally in 90 days, we went from losing a $100,000 boat to getting another boat just like I had, but newer in 90 days. In 90 days, guys. But it came from a mindset. And that's why we focus so much on mindset. That's why Gavin was talking about, it's all about your mindset. Training is there, what to do. It's a cup of coffee. Come on. It's not that complicated. But we do have step-by-step what to do, how to do it. And that's at zoomreplay.com. There are so many incredible trainings. Nancy Willette did one a couple weeks ago. Phenomenal. Gavin's done them. We have so many leaders that have done these trainings, and they're phenomenal, right? And you can go check all those out. But if it doesn't matter what training you watch, it doesn't matter what you listen to. If your mindset sucks, it doesn't matter what your skill set is, period. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we talk so much, and I'm going to read the affirmation. I know you like it too, right? But the reason why we talk so much about the mindset in personal development and communication with people is because it doesn't matter. You can go out and have the most amazing skills to close sales and basically build a business. But if you make people feel a certain way and you're not good at conflict resolution, the biggest killer of a business is you being a big dummy and making your people feel certain to where they don't feel validated and loved and all this other stuff. And you will lose more volume quicker through the way that you act than whatever skill set you do to actually close the sales. And I just wanted to throw that out there. So here is the affirmation. So I read this morning and night, and I, Chris Schway, am a healthy, wealthy, wise, powerful, loving champion, leader, mentor, husband, father, man of God, who gives freely, inspires others, leads the way, walks the walk, and builds leaders, lives by faith, exudes joy, and moves people into action. And wow, what a great day to be alive. I like me. I accept me. I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated. I'm too grounded to be confounded. Circumstances are aligning in my favor. I am healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I am an extraordinary person with incredible abilities, which I will use to add value to other people's lives, knowing that as I help other people reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or people today who are willing to use their wealth, power, and influence to help me achieve my. All day long, people go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. I will show compassion to those in need. I will give strength to the weak, inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and I embrace abundance, and embraces me. I am abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money, and it likes me. It is attracted to me and comes to me abundantly from many sources. I use money wisely because it is a tool to use to help those in need. I am experiencing great victories, supernatural turnarounds, and miraculous breakthroughs in the midst of great impossibilities. I am an overcomer. My mountains can't be removed. I will develop and practice my mountain climbing skills. I was broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I'm rich, growing, and overflowing. But I may experience a setback. But setbacks are setups for comebacks. Setbacks pave the way for comebacks. And I make lemonade out of life's lemons. And if life dares to knock me down, I will fall on my back, realizing as long as I can look up, I can get up. I can make paying for my dreams with preparation, so I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate because procrastination leads to the devastation and is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I am a doer. I get results at last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I am the leader that many people are looking for. So I choose to succeed today and every day. I have favor and I get paid millions to be me because I rock. Guys, I read that to myself over and over and over until I started to believe it, because this is the deal. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real. You've been lying this crap yourself for a long ass time, and now it's time to start lying to yourself some positive stuff. It's a matter of creating that mindset now and tell yourself these things. And what happens is, remember we said the subconscious mind doesn't know what's not real. You start believing it. And when you start believing it, belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. Belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. You start believing that, and guess what? You start to create it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for all the people that add value tonight. We appreciate you all so much. If you want a copy of the affirmation, I'll send it to you. Change the name, change the things that don't resonate with you, change the things that are going to resonate, and make it yours, and start speaking that into existence. Start speaking life back into your life. So with that being said, guys, everybody have an awesome night. Hope you got value. Take care.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
how do
Thank
we
you,
get it?
Chris.
How do we get it?
Thank you, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
man, right on.
Thank
The
you.
man,
May
man.
light
Thank you. Have a great night.
Good man with a plan.
Nice.